what if I told you that reality isn't something you live, but something you command, that everything happening outside is simply responding to the energy you're emitting right now? Life isn't testing you, it's mirroring you. There comes a point in the journey where the seeker awakens and realizes it's not the world that needs to change, it's the frequency. Because reality is malleable, a vibrational reflection of your state of consciousness. And the more you try to control the mirror, the more distorted it becomes. But when you shift your vibration, the mirror shifts on its own. It's in that moment, in that sacred instant of inner mastery, that the universe bends before your energy. This is the power the masters knew, and the one you're about to remember. Today, I'm going to show you what it means to master frequency, and how this simple act of consciousness can make reality bend in your favor. Take a deep breath and feel the energy begin to move around you, because from this moment forward, the world will never be the same. Most people spend their lives trying to change the world with their hands, chasing results, forcing pathways, pushing matter as if it had a will of its own. But reality doesn't respond to force, it responds to frequency. While you fight to control the external, you're being controlled by the internal. That's why the harder you try to make things happen, the more it seems like nothing moves. Control is fear's greatest disguise. It's the unconscious desire to guarantee nothing goes off script, because the ego doesn't trust the invisible. But the universe isn't driven by plans, it's driven by vibration. And when your energy vibrates in tension, everything around you vibrates on the same note. Life mirrors your internal state, not your mind's intentions. You weren't born to master matter, but to master the field, because the field is the mold where reality organizes itself. Frequency is the language of creation, and you speak this language all the time, consciously or not. With every emotion, every thought, you emit a vibrational command, and the universe simply obeys, without judgment, without question, without hesitation. That's why those who seem to live in luck don't force anything. They've understood the language of flow. While the world tries to control, they adjust their vibration. While everyone else struggles to move matter, they move energy, and matter follows. Because when the internal shifts, the external reorganizes itself. True strength isn't about controlling, but about allowing. The one who understands this stops reacting and starts creating. They realize that every obstacle is just an echo of their own frequency, asking for adjustment. Nothing is against you. Everything is responding to you. And when you understand this, control dissolves and power awakens. Mastering frequency isn't about controlling thoughts or suppressing emotions. It's about remembering that everything you feel is creating waves in the field. Every emotion is a vibration, every thought an energetic seed. And when you realize you're the transmitter of these waves, the creator of these seeds, you stop being a hostage of reality and become the gardener of the invisible. Mastering frequency is becoming aware of energy before it becomes form. It's feeling the beginning of the vibration, the subtle emotional impulse before the reaction. When you learn to recognize that point, the 0 point, everything changes. Because in that instant, you stop responding and start choosing. You stop living by reflex and start living by creation. Being a master of frequency is being the center that doesn't shake. It's remaining stable in the middle of chaos, serene amid the noise. It's understanding that power isn't about changing what happens, but about remaining unshakable in what you are. The world revolves around the vibration that doesn't move. The mind seeks control. The heart seeks attunement. And it's at this point that the human meets the divine. When you stop trying to think the energy and start feeling it, you enter the flow where the universe recognizes you. And what once seemed like effort transforms into synchronicity. Mastering frequency is living in continuous consciousness. It's knowing that every moment is a mirror of your current vibration. There's no punishment, there's no coincidence, only correspondence. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the silent music you're emitting right now. Reality is a game, but few realize they're playing. Most are trapped in the character, reacting, fighting, fearing, without realizing there's a player behind it all, watching everything in silence. That player is consciousness, the true you. But the invisible enemy keeping you trapped in the game is called ego. The ego isn't evil. It's just limited. It was born to survive, not to create. It was shaped by memories, by pain, by comparisons, and believes the world needs to be controlled to guarantee safety. But control is the golden prison where the spirit forgets its power. The ego fears emptiness, fears silence, because in silence it ceases to exist, and the being awakens. That's why it feeds on noise, conflict, and urgency. It wants to prove worth, wants recognition, wants to be seen. But consciousness doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. While the ego seeks outside, consciousness creates within. While the ego wants answers, the being vibrates in certainty. The game changes when you stop fighting with the character and start guiding it with the wisdom of the observer. You're not the avatar stuck in the level, you're the player holding the controller. The enemy isn't the world nor the circumstances. It's the forgetting. Forgetting that you are consciousness makes reality seem like a prison. Remembering who you are transforms the game into creation. Because when the player awakens, the game obeys. And when you vibrate as the creator, even the ego bows to the light. Surrender is the point where fear dies and power is born. It's when you finally understand you don't need to control anything, because everything is already responding to your vibration. While you try to push life, it resists. But when you relax into the flow, the universe begins to move for you. Surrendering isn't giving up, it's trusting. It's releasing the weight of doubt, the rigidity of how and when. It's realizing that the universe already understood your request before the words, and that from that moment on, your only function is to maintain the alignment. The rest is the natural movement of energy, not effort. The mind wants to solve, consciousness wants to surrender, and the difference between them is the level of vibration. The mind tries to reach power, consciousness already possesses it. When you surrender, the mind goes quiet. And in that silence, the divine begins to act through you. It's at this point that miracles become logical. Coincidences align, doors open, the right people appear. Not because you forced it, but because you got out of the way. The frequency of surrender is the same as abundance, absolute trust. And trust is the language reality respects most. True power doesn't come from dominating the world, but from allowing the universe to flow through you. When you release control, you become the channel. And when you're the channel, everything that's yours finds its way. Surrender is the final act of those who understood power. Raising your vibration isn't about running from what you feel, but about transforming what you feel into consciousness. Energy doesn't disappear, it transmutes. When you observe the emotion without judging it, it dissolves. What was once weight becomes light, and the frequency elevates. Breathe deeply. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. In this instant, nothing is lacking, nothing is wrong. All that exists is this moment, and this moment is complete. The highest vibration is always in the now, because the now is the only point where the field responds. To raise your energy, shift your focus from mind to heart. The mind calculates, the heart radiates. The mind doubts, the heart trusts. When you drop from your head to the center of your chest, you exit fear and return to flow. Be grateful before you have. Feel before you see. Vibration precedes form, always. The more you feel the emotion of what you desire, the faster the universe finds the pathways to manifest. Gratitude is the vibrational shortcut to any reality. Raising your vibration is remembering your original nature. You're not the tired body or the anxious mind, you're the field observing both. Every time you choose presence over rush, frequency rises. And when frequency rises, reality changes on its own. Because the now is the portal. And you're the one crossing it. Reality is dense only when you vibrate at the same density. It seems solid, unchangeable, unbreakable. But everything is energy in different states of vibration. When your frequency elevates, the world that seemed closed begins to yield. The invisible reorganizes around the new consciousness you become. Nothing external has power over those who vibrate above fear. Chaos may scream, but your peace speaks louder. Challenges don't disappear, they dissolve in presence. Matter before the light of consciousness loses form and transforms, because the field always obeys the most stable vibration. You don't need to force reality to change. It naturally bends before energy that doesn't resist. When you vibrate in love, conflict loses fuel. When you vibrate in abundance, lack finds no place to exist. Vibration is the invisible scepter with which the awakened being governs the world. Life is an energetic mirror, not a battlefield. Everything you encounter is merely a reflection of what you're emanating. That's why the true master doesn't react to the reflection. They change the shine. They understand that reality is as flexible as light in water, and the higher your frequency, the smoother the reflection. When you vibrate above reality, you become reality. Nothing external can touch you, because everything external is born from you. You stop being the effect and become the cause. You stop following the flow and become the river itself. This is the state where matter bows and spirit commands. You're not the body that feels. You're the consciousness that perceives the feeling. You're not the mind that thinks. You're the silent field behind the thought. When you understand this, fear dissolves and control loses meaning. Matter stops being a prison and becomes a stage of expression. Your entire life changes when you remember you are the field, not the body. The body reacts, the field creates. The body ages, the field renews. The body moves through time, but the field dwells in the eternal now. And when you choose to vibrate from this space of presence, reality adjusts like a wave obeying your command. There's no more struggle, only direction. There's no more seeking, only alignment. The reality you desire already exists in frequency. You just need to tune into it until the universe has no choice, because nothing resists those who vibrate in truth. So stop, breathe, and feel. The power you seek was never outside. It's always been vibrating silently within you. Every thought, every emotion, every choice is a code, and the field responds to all of them with divine perfection. If this message touched your soul, declare your frequency now. Comment below, I am the frequency. Like this video, subscribe to the Manifest Now channel and hit that energy bell. Share this with those who need to remember who they are. Because when one awakens, the entire field rises.